Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 ways I improved at League of Legends. This will be the first episode of my League of Legends Back to Basics guides. My first tip at improving at League of Legends is that you have to be prepared by having the right mindset as well as the right equipment for improving. The only way you are going to improve at League of Legends is through hard work. Although Riot Games does sell a backpack on their merchandise website, the last time I checked, it doesn't have enough space to carry you and all of your feeding teammates. This is an example of the wrong type of equipment. Alright, all joking aside, you do need to have a good computer system with a stable internet connection, a comfortable mouse and keyboard, and a good headset if you're going to use voice communications to talk to teammates. Otherwise, you're just going to get frustrated because of the lack of physical equipment that you have. However, more importantly, you need to bring the right mindset where you're going to be committed at spending time and effort in order to improve at the game. Being motivated is key, so make sure you're prepared is tip number 1. So, for tip number 2, you simply have to play enough games of League of Legends in order to improve. This point is especially true for bronze level players. There's a certain amount of baseline knowledge about the game that you need to know in order to be successful. Too many players, unfortunately, enter ranked games before they're prepared, and they lack an understanding of their champion's abilities, the general capabilities of the opponents, and the goals and objectives of the game. My general advice is that you need to ask yourself a basic question to decide if you are ready for ranked. When you are playing, are you expecting to learn something new about the game, or are you just demonstrating mastery of what you already know? If you answered the former, you probably should play some more normal games before you head into the ranked queue. Now, playing more games, this advice doesn't just apply to bronze level players, but actually to players of all skill levels. Riot Games is really committed to making the metagame fresh and dynamic for League of Legends players. In fact, twice a year they have major updates during the preseason and the mid-season, where the changes that they make League of Legends feel like an entirely new game. For example, this video was recorded during the preseason of Season 7, and these days I find myself just trying to learn how to play League of Legends again. As much as I've read all the patch notes of 6.22, which is the preseason update, there's just simply too much to know. I mean, Riot Games has reworked 10 of the champions, they've changed or added 15 items, they've rearranged the jungle camps, they've added new mechanics such as lethality, camouflage versus invisibility, and also they added these 3 new jungle plants. And they've simply changed so much that it's impossible to know or theory craft on how all these changes will interact and impact each other within the game without actually having played the game. So, my final thought about playing enough games is that you just need to play enough games in order to rank up. The way the rank system works for lower level players in bronze, silver, and gold is that you will earn more LP points each time you win and not lose as many LP points for each time you lose. So, if you're an average player with about a 50% win rate, you will naturally advance and rank up, but you need to actually spend some time ranking up. So, to summarize, tip number 2, you need to play enough games. So, now for tip number 3, I really recommend that you watch and learn from players that are better at the game than yourself. Now, we talked about in tip number 2 that playing more games is one of the ways to improve, but there comes a certain point at which learning through this manner becomes inefficient. While in an actual game, it's just sometimes hard to see the more subtle errors that you are making as a player, and also sometimes by playing more games, you're actually reinforcing bad behaviors just because that's how you always played the game and you didn't know that there was something else that you could do. And to be honest, unless you're going to be spending tons and tons of time learning, discovering, and developing new things on a champion, you'll probably find it's much more time efficient just to copy better players because they've already mastered and refined their techniques that got them to a high rank in the first place. I mean, why reinvent the wheel if it's already been done? Now, obviously, this advice doesn't apply to high-ranked players who are defining what the metagame is, what we are supposed to be doing. But for most casual players, for most gold, silver, and bronze rank players, this is going to be really helpful advice. Now, there are two main ways that you can learn from better players, and the first one is by watching them. You can watch a professional match. Riot Games hosts a ton of games through their esports section of their website. You can also watch professional players stream if you're looking for a more casual experience on either YouTube or Twitch TV. The other thing that can be done is reading more about what better players are doing. There are tons of websites that include lots of useful information like item builds, runes and masteries, and in the comments section below I'll leave a list of the common websites that I use, but the two most important ones for me are ChampionGG as well as LawKing.net. Now I should put a disclaimer, I have no financial sponsorships from either of these websites. I'm just telling them to you because I really like their products. So to summarize tip number 3, try to learn from players that are better than yourself, especially when tip number 2, just playing more games, isn't helping you as much in your League of Legends play as you would expect it to be. Now my fourth tip is that you need to practice, and practice specific skills. I don't know about you, but I'm excited for Season 7 because in it, Riot Games will be releasing a practice tool. Haha, I'll no longer have to wait in a custom game for 5 minutes with myself to practice flashing over thick walls. In addition, you can practice the difficult wards over walls or refine your jungle pass, and I also specifically recommend not playing against bots in bot games. Too many players develop bad habits during bot games, and practice really should focus on specific skills in the practice tool. And think of it like riding a bicycle. Once you learn it, you'll keep on remembering how to use those skills once you need it in an actual game. My fifth and final tip is that you should watch replays of your own games in order to improve. All ranked players will have moments when you'll be like, what the heck just happened? Now, analyzing videos is a little bit more of an in-depth topic, which I'll be doing for episode 2 of my Back to Basics guide. But suffice to say, it's really important to get the feedback from your own replays and make adjustments so that you can not make those same errors that you've made in the past. So, in summary, in order to improve at League of Legends, you first must be ready to commit the time to wanting to improve. But if you do so, I suggest you develop, first of all, a good working foundation, a good knowledge base of what your champion does, as well as what your opposing champions do, and that's just by playing the game. However, once you've played enough normal games and feel like you have that good working foundation, you can refine your techniques through a couple different ways. And first of all, once again, you want to compare what you're doing to other players who are more skilled at the game, and also refine your techniques by practicing and watching your own replays. Well, I hope this guide helps you get to the rank that you're looking for in Season 7. It got me the Platinum in Season 6. And I hope to see you next week so that you can learn how to analyze your own gameplay video. This has been North American Summoner Severi on the League of Legends Back to Basics guide.